Let's delve into a detailed explanation of each chapter in Crime and Punishment to capture the nuances of the plot, character development, and thematic exploration. Part 1. Chapter 1. The novel introduces Rodion Raskolnikov, a young former student living in St. Petersburg. Raskolnikov is portrayed as an intelligent, but impoverished individual, disillusioned with societal norms and grappling with existential questions. He contemplates the idea of committing a morally ambiguous act to test his theory of extraordinary individuals who transcend conventional morality. Chapter 2. Raskolnikov's internal monologue reveals his internal conflict and arrogance, as he wrestles with feelings of superiority and alienation from society. This chapter sets the stage for Raskolnikov's philosophical musings and foreshadows his descent into moral ambiguity. Chapter 3. Raskolnikov formulates a plan to murder Alyona Ivanovna, a pawnbroker, believing it to be a justified act for the greater good. This chapter showcases Raskolnikov's intellectual rationalization of crime and establishes the tension between his ideological beliefs and moral conscience. Chapter 4. The murder of Alyona Ivanovna and her half-sister Lizaveta takes place. Raskolnikov's inner turmoil intensifies as he grapples with the reality of his actions and the weight of his guilt. The murder triggers a psychological breakdown, plunging Raskolnikov into a state of paranoia and moral crisis. Chapter 5. Raskolnikov attempts to cover up his crime and evade suspicion. He experiences profound psychological distress, characterized by hallucinations and heightened sensitivity to external stimuli. This chapter portrays Raskolnikov's unraveling mental state and foreshadows the psychological torment to come. Chapter 6. Raskolnikov's guilt and paranoia intensify as he navigates the aftermath of the murder. He becomes increasingly isolated and withdrawn, tormented by intrusive thoughts and delusions. This chapter marks a pivotal turning point in Raskolnikov's psychological descent. Chapter 7. Raskolnikov grapples with the psychological consequences of his crime, experiencing profound remorse and self-loathing. He is haunted by visions of the murdered women and struggles to maintain a facade of normalcy amidst escalating inner turmoil. This chapter captures Raskolnikov's existential crisis and sets the stage for his journey towards redemption. Part 2. Chapter 1. Raskolnikov tries to distract himself from his guilt by engaging in mundane activities. He encounters Marmeladov, a former government clerk turned alcoholic, whose tragic story serves as a poignant reflection of human suffering and moral decay. Chapter 2. Marmeladov's narrative deeply impacts Raskolnikov, stirring feelings of empathy and existential angst. Raskolnikov's interactions with Marmeladov foreshadow his moral awakening and growing awareness of human vulnerability. Chapter 3. Raskolnikov's chance encounter with Sonya, Marmeladov's daughter who turns to prostitution to support her family, sparks a profound connection rooted in shared suffering. Sonya emerges as a symbol of moral purity and spiritual redemption for Raskolnikov. Chapter 4. Raskolnikov's fascination with Sonya deepens as he grapples with conflicting emotions of shame and admiration. Sonya's unwavering faith and compassionate nature challenge Raskolnikov's nihilistic worldview, prompting introspection and moral introspection. Chapter 5. Raskolnikov's interactions with Sonya become a focal point for his moral reckoning and emotional turmoil. He begins to confide in Sonya, seeking solace and redemption amidst the shadows of guilt and moral ambiguity. Chapter 6. Raskolnikov's bond with Sonya deepens as they share moments of profound intimacy and mutual understanding. Their relationship becomes a catalyst for Raskolnikov's inner transformation and spiritual renewal. Chapter 7. Raskolnikov's emotional turmoil escalates as he confronts the consequences of his crime. His interactions with Sonya offer glimpses of redemption and moral clarity amidst the prevailing darkness. This chapter underscores the transformative power of human connection in the face of moral decay. In Part 2, Dostoevsky intricately weaves together themes of guilt, suffering, and moral redemption through Raskolnikov's evolving relationships and inner turmoil. Each chapter deepens our understanding of the protagonist's moral crisis and sets the stage for his psychological and spiritual journey towards repentance. Part 3. Chapter 1. Raskolnikov's psychological turmoil intensifies as he grapples with the fear of discovery and moral accountability. He encounters Porfiry Petrovich, the astute investigating magistrate, whose probing questions unsettle Raskolnikov's fragile psyche. Chapter 2. Raskolnikov's interactions with Porfiry Petrovich fuel his paranoia and exacerbate his inner turmoil. He becomes increasingly consumed by guilt and self-doubt, questioning the validity of his philosophical theories in the face of moral scrutiny. Chapter 3. Raskolnikov's internal conflict escalates as he struggles to reconcile his intellectual arrogance with the moral consequences of his actions. His encounters with Sonia offer moments of solace and introspection amidst the encroaching darkness. Chapter 4. Raskolnikov's mental state teeters on the brink of collapse as he grapples with the weight of his guilt. His interactions with Sonia become a source of emotional refuge, highlighting themes of sin, redemption, and the transformative power of human connection. Chapter 5. Raskolnikov's existential crisis reaches a pivotal juncture as he contemplates the inevitability of confession. He seeks solace in Sonia's unwavering faith, finding fleeting moments of redemption amidst the prevailing shadows of moral decay. Chapter 6. Raskolnikov's internal conflict intensifies as he confronts the reality of his crime. He becomes increasingly isolated and withdrawn, haunted by visions of the murdered women and tormented by the specter of his own conscience. Chapter 7. Raskolnikov's emotional turmoil is laid bare as he grapples with the paradox of human nature. His interactions with Sonia become a focal point for introspection and moral reckoning, offering glimpses of catharsis amidst the prevailing darkness. In Part 3, Dostoevsky continues to explore Raskolnikov's psychological descent and moral crisis with meticulous attention to detail. The protagonist's interactions with Porfiry Petrovich and Sonia serve as catalysts for introspection and moral reckoning, highlighting themes of guilt, redemption, and the complexities of human nature. The novel's intricate narrative structure and rich character development propel the reader deeper into Raskolnikov's inner world, unraveling layers of psychological complexity and existential angst. Dostoevsky masterfully captures the human condition, inviting readers to confront profound questions about morality, redemption, and the pursuit of spiritual renewal amidst the shadows of guilt and despair. Part 4. Chapter 1. Raskolnikov's family arrives in St. Petersburg, hoping to alleviate his financial and psychological struggles. However, their presence exacerbates Raskolnikov's inner turmoil as he grapples with feelings of shame and inadequacy in their presence. Chapter 2. Raskolnikov's interactions with his family members highlight his sense of alienation and estrangement from conventional society. He struggles to maintain a facade of normalcy amidst escalating inner turmoil and mounting guilt. Chapter 3. Raskolnikov's emotional instability intensifies as he confronts the consequences of his crime. His interactions with Sonia become increasingly fraught with emotional tension, underscoring themes of sin, redemption, and the elusive nature of moral absolution. Chapter 4. Raskolnikov experiences a feverish dream that serves as a psychological reckoning, forcing him to confront the moral ramifications of his actions. He becomes increasingly haunted by his guilt and begins to contemplate the inevitability of confessing his crime. Chapter 5. Raskolnikov's existential crisis deepens as he grapples with the paradox of human nature. His interactions with Sonia offer moments of solace and introspection amidst the encroaching darkness, highlighting the transformative power of compassion and empathy. Chapter 6. Raskolnikov's internal conflict intensifies as he confronts the reality of his crime. He becomes increasingly isolated and withdrawn, haunted by visions of the murdered women and tormented by the specter of his own conscience. Part 5. Chapter 1. Raskolnikov's mental state deteriorates further as he becomes consumed by existential despair. He fixates on his theory of extraordinary individuals and the notion of suffering as a pathway to redemption. Chapter 2. Raskolnikov's interactions with Sonia become a focal point for his moral reckoning and emotional catharsis. He begins to confront the consequences of his actions, seeking redemption amidst the shadows of guilt and moral decay. Chapter 3. Raskolnikov's internal conflict reaches a pivotal juncture as he grapples with the inevitability of confession. He seeks solace in Sonia's unwavering faith, finding moments of clarity and introspection amidst the prevailing darkness. Chapter 4. Raskolnikov's emotional turmoil escalates as he confronts the reality of his crime. His interactions with Sonia become a source of emotional refuge, highlighting themes of sin, redemption, and the transformative power of human connection. Chapter 5. Raskolnikov's existential crisis deepens as he confronts the paradox of human nature. His encounters with Sonia become a catalyst for introspection and moral reckoning, underscoring themes of guilt, redemption, and the pursuit of spiritual renewal. Part 6. Chapter 1. Raskolnikov's trial serves as a climactic turning point in the narrative, marking the culmination of his moral and existential journey. Through the trial proceedings, Raskolnikov confronts the full extent of his moral transgression and grapples with the consequences of his actions. Chapter 2. Raskolnikov's emotional turmoil is laid bare as he faces the scrutiny of the court and the weight of public judgment. His interactions with Sonia and other characters underscore themes of guilt, redemption, and the complexities of human nature. Chapter 3. Raskolnikov's inner transformation unfolds as he undergoes a period of exile in Siberia. Through suffering and isolation, he begins to confront his inner demons and embrace the possibility of spiritual renewal. Chapter 4. Raskolnikov's time in Siberia becomes a crucible for moral reckoning and existential renewal. He undergoes a transformative process of self-discovery, ultimately embracing a newfound sense of humility and moral clarity. Chapter 5. Raskolnikov's journey towards redemption reaches its culmination as he grapples with the consequences of his actions and seeks reconciliation with his own conscience. His interactions with Sonia and the epiphanies he experiences underscore themes of moral regeneration and the pursuit of spiritual enlightenment. Throughout the novel, Dostoevsky masterfully explores themes of guilt, redemption, and the complexities of human nature through the lens of Raskolnikov's psychological and moral journey. Each part of Crime and Punishment offers a profound meditation on the nature of sin, suffering, and the possibility of spiritual renewal amidst the shadows of moral decay. The novel remains a timeless exploration of existential angst and moral redemption, inviting readers to confront profound questions about the human condition and the pursuit of moral integrity.